Welcome back to another episode of the Open Mic Podcast. My name is Noah Jones, and I'm the music writer for Richland Source. Today, I'm joined by Mark Posener, who's joined me in the studio. He's going to play a couple of his tunes. And why don't you start off by just talking to us a little bit about yourself?
Hi. Thanks for having me. So, I'm a musician from the Toledo area. I do online studio sort of stuff called The Onlys, and that's out of my home studio. And then I release it online, so you can find that on Spotify and everywhere you listen to music. And I do solo acoustic performances. So
cool. And so you're in town just sort of playing through?
Yeah. I was supposed to do a few shows. I went and checked out the Phoenix Brewery.
Nice.
Brewing company last
nice.
night. Yeah, very cool place. Didn't play there, just hanging out.
Gotcha. Well, give them a call. They'll hook you up eventually, I'm sure. They do have a lot of musicians that play on a regular basis, so you'll probably have a spot at some point.
Yeah, it looked like the whole downtown area here has got a pretty cool vibe going on with the Carousel District. Or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad that you said that. We've made a lot of progress since I moved here 4 years ago, and significant progress since before I was here. It actually, I don't know all the details because I wasn't here, but it used to be a really sort of scary place with prostitution and drug gangs and stuff like that. And now, I go for runs all the time downtown, and I feel very safe. It's beautiful downtown now, I think.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, I was here quite a few years ago, but it's been a while, and it's changed definitely a lot. But yeah, it seems safe. Seems like there's a good art community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm really glad you noticed that because that'll definitely make our city people excited to know that someone from Toledo noticed that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So
I was expecting to see more man and fields, but it's more of a city,
Well, yeah. So outside of Mansfield, it gets rural in a hurry.
Is that where the farming in the fields?
Yeah, for sure. That's where the corn grows and the soy and all that stuff. But yeah, I oftentimes sort of forget about the farming community, to be honest with you, because I never really leave the outskirts of town.
Yeah, you're like a trapped in Manhattan city dweller.
Yeah, that's me, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Cool.
Well, that's cool. So let's talk about some of your projects. You have anything new coming out soon?
Yeah, what I've been doing lately is I've been releasing songs as singles.
Okay.
So I released an album in 2016 that had 17 tracks.
Oh, wow.
And that's under the Onlys. And then in 2017 I did another album that was like 9 tracks. And this time around, or lately, I've just been thinking, just releasing one song at a time, just putting a single out there. Seems like it could be something interesting. So I released a song called Girl in My Dream just a few months ago. And right now I'm in the studio working on another track. I'm pretty much good with all the instrumentation. So I started as a drummer. I should probably back that up. And I've been playing drums for like over 25 years. So like I've got the drums down, and then I do guitar, so I've got bass, I've got electric guitars, I've got pretty much all the instrumentation done, and I'm just waiting to do the vocals. And really, it's kind of just like writing the lyrics, and that's always sort of a struggle, it seems like. So once I get the lyrics and everything, hopefully in the next couple weeks I'll have a new song released.
Cool. So are you a music instrumentation first and then lyrics, or do you write a poem and then try and find a way to sing it?
It's generally I come up with a melody first.
Okay.
And then I sort of fit lyrics into the melody
Sure.
that I've come up with. But yeah, I generally don't go. I don't know. I wish I could have like a poem written and just turn that into a song. But for me, it's generally comes with the melody first. And I guess I've done it a lot of different ways. Sometimes when I'm just playing guitar and I'll start singing the melody and I'll come up with the lyrics right then. Sometimes I'll have the entire instrumentation recorded and then I'll come up with the melody and then I'll start doing the lyrics after that. But yeah, it's always a little bit different. And then I try to mix it up sometimes just to keep it interesting.
Sure, yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about sort of your strategy for releasing songs as singles as opposed to whole records at one time. What is your thought behind that?
Well, I think, an album's a pretty big undertaking, of course, and
Sure.
It takes a lot longer. So I think, I don't know, I'm just kind of trying stuff out, trying different things. But, I think it's part of partly that seems like everyone has a shorter attention span these days than they used to. So
Yeah, I was going to bring that up because I've talked to a lot of people on the show about short attention spans and why EPs are maybe more listen or have a higher probability of being listened to in completion than a 10 to 17 song record.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought maybe there's something to that. I know my band is currently recording a 9-song album, so we're sort of not caring about that, but it's mostly just for us anyway.
Yeah, no, I think I think people, I don't know. I just want to keep putting content out there too, and it seems like, the turnaround for a single compared to an album is just so much quicker.
Sure.
But I may go back to an album here next time. It's sort of just trying things out and seeing. But yeah, and then it's nice, I think, for the algorithms to have, like, if you're trying to build a YouTube channel, to have new stuff coming out more consistently.
Absolutely.
Than once a year. I think it may help with getting views on that sort of stuff too. So
right.
I don't know. I'm just trying different stuff, seeing what happens.
Sure. How do you go about writing songs? Because obviously, for me at least, songwriting takes the longest out of almost anything. Coming up with lyrics that you're like proud enough to sing out in public. But for you, you just said you come up with them relatively quickly. Like, what is the ratio between songs you give up on halfway through to you perform?
Wow, that's a good question. There's a lot of songs that definitely go by the wayside. For me, I like to have, it's nice that, with technology now you can have your phone and you can just hit record real quick. So when I'm sitting around with an acoustic guitar and I strum and I'm coming across like a chord progression I think is cool, I'll think, well, maybe I'll write a song about this. And then, for me, I think one of my strengths has always been coming up with melodies over chord progressions that are interesting, and then the difficult thing has been like forming the lyrics into those melodies. But yeah, there's a lot of like little tidbits that are maybe just a chord progression with a melody over it that I've ended up just not using because it just hasn't worked out. But as far as the ones that actually make it to being full-fledged songs, usually it's just a matter of listening back to my phone recordings and whichever ones kind of catch my ear the most and whichever ones I really like, And then sometimes those little short sections, I think it was John Lennon used to say, not that I'm comparing myself to him in any way, that what he does is he'll find the chorus of a song, the real catchy part, and make that the verse, and then make something better for the chorus. Is kind of like his. So sometimes I'll take those little tidbits that sound like they could be a cool verse or something, and I'll think, or it could be a cool chorus, and I'll think, well, I'll just use this as like the verse, and then I'll try to come up with something better for the chorus or something even more catchy. So.
Yeah, who was it that said Aerosmith was sort of the perfect pop music writer, or I guess musicians, because they basically had 3 different choruses in all of their songs. It was the first verse is a chorus, and then the chorus is a chorus, and the third verse is a chorus, and all that. I guess.
Well, there's something to be said about having that formula of I think one of the popular ones now is so it's verse A, verse B, chorus, verse 2A, chorus, change up solo, quiet chorus, outro chorus. That seems like the format that a lot of pop music is in these days. But
yeah,
actually, it's interesting that my first album, the 17-track album, I kind of wrote more as it's only 45 minutes long, but it's 17 songs. And I didn't want to do that formulaic thing for every song. So a lot of those songs, I've got like 1 and 2 minute songs where it's just like one verse and one chorus, which is like completely unheard of, or it's something different. But my idea was more to write it as an album that's something that you'll listen all the way through. And so some of it doesn't even, like, some of the songs wouldn't hold up on as a single. They almost only have to fit into the album. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I've got a couple of songs that are like a minute and 20 seconds long, and they're just sort of like a bridge from one song to the next sort of deal.
Gotcha. Well, would you like to play a song of yours for us?
So this is a song that I have released online called Monte Carlo, and that's if you can find that online under the Onlys. So this is a song called Monte Carlo. Dancing in the moonlight on a table, watching as the people pass her by. My eyes on a wheel, it's spinning circles. Everything I have is on the line. It's all come to this one spin of the wheel. I can't explain the feeling I feel. I look to the sky and I wonder why. Everyone said, what could we do? So now I'm sweating and I'm feeling kind of nauseous. Something in my stomach isn't right. Looking at the ceiling as I'm falling. Everything I have is on the line. It's all come to this one spin of the wheel, and I can't explain the feeling I feel. I look to the sky and I wonder why. Everyone said, what could we do?
Well, that was great. That was Monte Carlo by Mark Posener. And tell us a little bit about that song. What is the... I mean, it's a fun song for sure. I like how you basically throughout the chorus are imitating trumpets or horns or something with your voice. I think that's really cool. Just talk to us a little bit about the inspiration of it.
Yeah, so that is a song about the wonderful game of roulette. I've spent a little bit of time in the casinos. Never really had a problem, but betting on black or red, mostly. But the ups and downs and sort of the vibe was being at like a Vegas sort of atmosphere on the Strip, and you see girls dancing on tables and interesting stuff like that. And then my friend was like, "Oh, that really has kind of like a Spanish vibe to it." And
Yeah,
I was like, yeah,
for sure.
I can feel that. And so I was kind of like, the Vegas of sort of that area of the world. Monte Carlo is kind of where the name came from.
Gotcha.
Some people think that I'm just a big fan of the Monte Carlo car, but it's more of the city of Monte Carlo. And then a lot of the I guess what you were talking about with like the horn imitations or whatever, a lot of it is just turning it from a full-on studio production where you've got all the instrumentation and translating that to just a solo acoustic performance, which is kind of so yeah, I guess there's some sort of horn sort of sounds with the voice there. Yeah.
Well, cool. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about today?
No, man, I'm good. Thanks for having me in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
It's been a lot of fun. I've been checking out some of the podcasts. Looks like you have some really cool guests and everything. So I'm honored to have been here.
Well, thank you so much. That's so nice of you. We've been pretty blessed to be in a location where there are a ton of really great musicians, and we've gotten some lucky breaks getting to speak with people like the Godsmack drummer and all kinds of crazy stuff. So
Yeah.
I guess now I can sort of self-promote a little bit. If you haven't listened to a lot of these podcasts, feel free to subscribe and check a lot out, because Richland County has a great music scene, and I'm super stoked to get to do these podcasts.
Yeah. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Godsmack's lead singer a really good drummer too?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Full discretion, I'm not a huge fan. Or not a huge fan. I don't know a lot of information about Godsmack.
Oh,
and
right on.
so all that I looked into was the drummer, because I had like 7 minutes to talk to him.
He's a fantastic drummer.
Yeah, I got to watch him actually at Incarceration, and I took some really great photos of him. Unfortunately, I had to get a new computer because I spilled tea on my keyboard, and the photos are lost forever, except for on the Newsroom After Hours Instagram page, which is another cool thing that I get to do being the music writer here. Do you have any social media for people to listen to? Or
Yeah, you can find
watch?
me at on Facebook at The Onlys Band. You can find me on YouTube if you search for The Onlys with an apostrophe S. Bandcamp, Spotify, Amazon Music, pretty much everywhere that music's distributed these days, you can find me under The Onlys.
Awesome. And we're listening to people throughout the country. So do you have any shows coming up anywhere?
Yeah. Well, Tuesday I'll be in Perrysburg, which is just outside of Toledo.
Yeah, I know. I went to Bowling Green, so I know
okay.
Perrysburg pretty well.
Then the following weekend, September 7th and 8th, is the Black Swamp weekend in Bowling
that
Green.
is just we talked about that with the Moths in the Attic. That is just a phenomenal show.
Yeah,
I
really
got to
great
see
festival.
some really great people. The Sheepdogs were there. There was a I can't remember his name right now, but I'll just edit this part out, I guess. But incredible musicians, and it's crazy that it happens in Bowling Green.
Yeah, it's a really cool festival. So I'll be around there. I think Saturday afternoon I've got something on the acoustic stage, and
Sweet.
then I think I'm just helping out as a volunteer on one of the main stages on Sunday.
Okay.
So I'll be around there, and also you can go to theonlysband.com. And you can sign up to my mailing list, and that'll be really awesome. And I'll send you free downloads if you sign up. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Open Mic Podcast, man. I had a great time.
yeah, thanks, Noah. Thanks for having me. It was fun.